It really is the cream spot tonight, Rob. I think I might have shit my pants.
No surprise.
Salutations and greetings from Southwest Ohio. This is the Brohio podcast coming to you live from the hood. We're two bros from Brohio. We're not very broish, though. We're not very bro-tato chip. We're not very
Sometimes. It depends.
No, bro, dude. Bro.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever said bro to somebody.
I feel like there's
What up, bro?
No, me neither. I feel like there's some substance to this show.
A little.
You feel me?
Yeah. Well, I feel you.
Yeah. Well, speaking of feeling stuff,
Okay.
thank you so much for being here with us for this special episode of Secrets of the Vatican. This is a much anticipated episode, I do believe. I think we're going to have a pretty good return on investment on this one, if I do say so myself.
Sure. We'll see.
People are going to be after this one.
Okay. Okay.
You don't fucking believe me, but you wait and watch. In a week, I'm going to say, look, Rob, I was fucking right. And you're going to say, I'm sorry.
I forgive you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Well, let's get on to the Patreon things.
Sure.
Real quick.
Sure.
Nail it. Just run it off real quick.
Every single one of them?
Yeah.
Dr. Any, not Audi. I don't know.
Dr. Itty.
E-N-I. There's no way it's a real doctor. So it's
Any
okay.
like my, never mind.
My penis.
And next we have Paola Varela. Paola, thanks so much for pledging to the show. Paola.
Paola.
The Ayatollah of rock and roll. That's Chris Jericho.
The areola of rock and roll.
This is Paola. Very, very areola vagina. Thank you.
Lucy Cooper. Thank you very much.
Loosey goosey. How did I get stuck with this one? Julian Sesma, a.k.a.
Schmegma.
a.k.a. Stinky Wet Cookie.
That's what this room smells
No,
like right now.
Thanks. Delete our show off your iPod. Thank you very much.
Damn it. The best way to spell Erica, A-R-I-C-K-A, Erica, Doble, or Dobble.
I looked at it real fast. I thought it said Adika.
Adika. That's fun.
Yeah. And next we got Jordan. Thank you, Jordan, for your Patreon pledge.
And next we got Leroy Jenkins.
You remember we were in high school. There was always
Thank you, Leroy.
a guy named Leroy that stood around and pissed his pants and watched us play sports.
Yeah, they used to call him the mayor of our town.
Yes. He's dead now, but he peed his pants a lot.
He had one eye that was way bigger than the other one.
Yeah. Fantastic guy.
Yep.
He hated everybody, though.
He really
He
did.
absolutely hated everyone.
Yeah, he did.
Rest in peace, Leroy.
Yep.
Next, we got Katie Waite. Katie, thank you for your Patreon pledge.
Chase, rail. That's what I have to do to my wife when I want to rail her.
Chase the rail.
Chase and rail.
I think if you're okay, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Next, we got Avery Gray. Thank you, Avery Gray, for a Patreon pledge.
Anal gravy.
We had someone reach out named Trizzy Cop Out. He's been listening for a really long time. He said he pledged, but I didn't see it. So fuck, thanks, whatever. Thanks, whatever, dude. I'm gonna try and get through this fast because this is a really long episode. We got 20 pages of research. Whew. Florida man wakes to find burglar sucking his toes, deputies say.
Man, you usually got to pay good money for that.
Yeah, you really do. A Florida man.
Of course, there you go.
Yeah, woke up on Christmas Eve to find a burglar sucking on his toes.
Merry Christmas, baby.
According to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office.
Manatee County. How fitting of a county name for Florida.
You ever suck on the toes of a manatee before?
Do they have them?
What?
What if they did? That'd be
Toes?
weird, yeah.
I go to the zoo and those fucking things eat heads of cabbage, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
what a gross fucking animal.
They don't care, man.
They're pigs of the water.
They really are. They're so fun. They're so
They're beautiful.
yeah. I want to be friends with one.
They definitely look like a scrotal. When the Bradenton resident asked the stranger what he was doing in the house, the stranger said, quote, was there to suck toes.
Oh, damn.
Keep it simple, stupid. Well, he was there to suck toes, according to the incident report obtained by the Bradenton Herald. A fight broke out. Get off my toes! And during the struggle, the suspect tried to grab the victim's genitals and claimed to have a gun. I don't know the sex. I don't know. I'm trying to.
I got a gun. Now give me that dick.
No, he didn't want this. See, it doesn't say if
It doesn't say who grabbed who.
Okay, a Florida man. Well, okay, so it was a man getting his toes sucked on.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't quite play it out in my head of what was what.
Yeah.
So it is a man getting his toes played with. They start fighting. The burglar tries to grab his penis, and he just wants the toes. So
All right, well.
The victim eventually forced the other man out of the house, but deputies say the suspect smashed one of the home's windows as well as the windshield. If you ain't gonna give me the toes, you're gonna get a bill for this window. The Herald reports that investigators swabbed the victim's toes for DNA.
Oh, man.
Ow, that tickles. Stop. And tried to track the suspect with a police dog, but the alleged toe-sucking burglar escaped.
Good job, my dude.
Yeah. You gotta... yeah. All right, Fido. I need you to smell of toe jam. Toe jam and wiener. Wow, man. So there's a thing called Grindr. There's a thing called Craigslist. There's a thing called MySpace. You can get on there and you can literally find anyone in the entire world to get you to let them suck their toes.
Yeah, do whatever you want, man.
If you've never had your toes sucked on before, you've never reached the pinnacle of ecstasy. The feelings and nerves in your toes and on your toe knuckles is enough to send shivers up and down. Even someone that just you may have been dried up for years. You may have think that all is gone, all is lost, that you just are not ever touching anything ever again. And then someone starts sucking on your toes. Gets them all sloppy and wet.
That's so gross.
All moist. Get your toes all moist. Your toe knuckle hairs are hanging off the side like a Hitler comb over because you just got them bad boys sucked on. It'll bring you back to life, Rob. It will make your spirit sing. Okay?
All right.
So this is where we tell you, go follow our Twitter handle. We're really fucking cool. And that's all we're going to talk about right now because we have so much stuff to cram into this episode.
Yeah, we don't give a shit.
One time, usually this is where I fill you in with something weird that happened to me this week, like a bad story.
Yeah.
Something bad did happen to me tonight. I took the kids roller skating. I'm going to try and go through this real fast. They said, Daddy, you're going to roller skate. It's for Girl Scouts. I said, absolutely, I'm going to roller skate. I was the biggest... Well, I was the only adult male there, I do believe.
Okay.
By far
Girl Scouts, okay, yeah.
By far the biggest person there. But there was a couple older teenage boys, and there was maybe 3-4 males in the entire building. Probably 150 people there, maybe a handful of males. One of my worst fears is roller skating in a skate world bathroom, okay? Because it's just tile, and it's wet tile, and I'm not very nimble. I'm not graceful. Okay, they got new toilet. They got new urinals there, just the ones that are flush with the wall that don't really have the pipes coming off the top or the flusher. Mm-hmm. Just the ones that you just like. It's like pissing in a bucket. You don't know what it does. It doesn't flush. It doesn't make any sounds. It's like pissing into an endless tube. And I get my junk out and I start peeing, and I notice I start rolling backwards. And I put my hands up to grab onto something. And I noticed that, the only thing to grab onto was the pissy urinal itself. So I said, I'm just going to roll with it. And they've got a very uneven foundation. Let me tell you right now, because I was rolling backwards. I was a good 2 or 3 feet away from this urinal. And I said, I'm just going to keep on going.
Before you know it, you're out in the skate rink and there's a trail of piss behind you.
I've got the trajectory to 5-6 feet away from the toilet. I can still hit it if I get a good angle on it.
Right.
But then those 15, 16-year-old boys walked in. And I was pissing
don't look at my wiener
8 feet away from the urinal, and they're just like, oh, it looked like it was like a fucking laser, like one of them laser obstacle courses, and they're trying to figure out how to go over or under my piss stream.
He was like, hey boys, can you give me a push back to the pisser?
Yeah, go get me one of those little they got these little walker things on wheels for the kids that can't skate. Can you get me one of them walkers, boy, so I can get a little closer to this pisser?
Hopefully you weren't pissing like you do at the baseball stadiums.
No, okay. I wasn't.
You had your pants up at your waist, not down to your ankles.
I just think those kids are thinking like, oh man, he's got a lot of hair on that wiener. But it was just I wear fuzzy underwear when it's cold out. Wasn't necessarily
I feel
me. Yeah. So that's what's funny that happened to me this week, Rob. Did you have anything in your life that you want to tell us about, or anything you want to talk about before we kick this off?
No, I'm joking. There was nothing really fun. It wasn't really a fun experience, but there's this past week was New Year's Eve.
Yes, it was.
So we had a party. Of course, I had to work the next day, but I still didn't still didn't give up on
You didn't bitch out.
going hard. No, not at all. I had to wake up at 7:30, so I got 3 or 4 hours of sleep. It's all right.
Going hard in the motherfucking paint.
Yep, I woke up still drunk. Puked outside a couple people's houses that I was
really?
working at.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Man, that's pretty good, though.
yeah, man. I didn't puke that day, but
It's dedication to the craft, I do believe.
yep, I kept with the first place I went to. I stopped, sat in my truck for a little while, went in and talked to her. I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling good. As I went out and sat in my truck for a few minutes, and then just started hitting me. I'm like, here we go.
Started getting the wet mouth.
So I had to go and hide behind their house real quick and just puke everywhere. And it was all right. And it was bad because after the first one, like, I felt good, but not to where I knew I was done. Like, usually when after you've drank a lot, you throw up and you're like, okay, well, I feel way better. I felt good as it was leaving my body, but then immediately afterwards, like, man, I got more. But then it took me it took me like 2 more hours before the rest of it came up. And then after the second time, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I was waiting on.
That was the one. That's the one that cleaned out the gutter.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm sorry.
It was
to
a
hear
bad
that.
one, man.
I'm
too.
sorry to hear that, pal.
Yeah, it was out the nose and all that stuff.
Throwing up at our age is like getting into a fucking car accident.
It really is. Yeah.
If then 2 days afterwards, it feels like someone's taking a ball bat to your rib cage.
Yeah, it's getting old's not fun.
It's significant. Yes,
Right.
it's bad. I thought, yeah. Happy New Year's to everybody.
Yeah.
This is our first show of the New Year's.
2020.
We're gonna bring it in. We're gonna bring it in real good. It's gonna be real good and tight. Just right before we started recording, I had a really squeaky fart, and Rob
Yeah.
said, "Man, that sounded tight." I said, "I know, Rob. It's tight.
Work, man. Work
It's
in
tight.
progress.
Tight like a fucking band. It's
Yeah.
like a rubber band."
This may be the first episode before World War III, too, so who knows?
I told we're going to World War III. We're getting drafted. I'll fuck everybody up. I'm heartless. I'm
Ain't
soulless.
nobody drafting us.
Right. Oh, let's go ahead and put these guys at the back of the pile. I told my brother, who hates the fucking show, he hates me for the most part. He said, "What are you talking about this week?" I said, "We're talking about the secrets of the Vatican." He said, "You're going to get fucking killed." I said, "That's what we're trying to do."
Clintons didn't claim us yet, so fuck it. We're going to just go on to the next one. Big
Sure.
one.
There's some secrets. There's some fun stuff.
Definitely.
So we have some fairly obvious things that we can touch on here.
Like little boys. Not us. But them. Oh, fuck it.
That was right. I set that joke up right there. And then I
see that.
That's kind of nasty.
Low-hanging fruit.
So, and that's not one of the secrets of the Vatican that we're going to talk about.
That's not a secret.
It's all of the nasty sexual abuse that's been
Yeah.
going on there for decades. I think that I heard somebody say this week, someone was talking about gonorrhea.
Okay.
And I was like, man, that sounds fucking. No, somebody was talking about diarrhea.
Don't get those two confused.
I don't know. You'll understand in a second.
Okay.
And there's like a new cleaning lady at my work. He's a he, but he's a cleaning lady. It's always,
Okay. Equality.
And he said, "You know what they should call a cure for diarrhea is gonorrhea." I was fucking dying, dude. I said, "Who the fuck are you?" He said, "I got a really greasy ponytail, and I like to scrub poop off the toilet.
Oh, shit.
We're going to call it gonorrhea." I don't got diarrhea. I got gonorrhea because it's gone. Oh, that was fantastic.
It's so stupid.
It's so stupid. Ultimate dad joke.
Yeah, it is.
They have confirmed the existence of secret archives associated with the Vatican and the Vatican City.
Right.
And I didn't know the history of the Vatican City. So the Vatican City is inside of Italia, Italy. And it is its own country.
Yeah, it's its own thing.
You can pretty much go anywhere in this country in less than a 40-minute walk. So that does not sound like a very big country to me.
No.
Personally. Because 40 minutes, I can get about 2 city blocks in 40 minutes, and then it's a wrap.
Yeah.
So I think that I did go back and look at the history, and there was a pope. I don't know which pope it was, but he just decided that he was going to not be part of the world anymore. They just completely separated the Vatican, and he hid out in the Vatican. And then there was a deal cut with Mussolini.
Just like Notre Dame.
Yeah. And he cut a deal with Mussolini and said, if you'll, say that Italy is actually a thing, we'll give you Vatican City and all the land with it. You can start your own shit. So you got the Vatican, which is the that's what you call, it's the governing authority over the Catholic religion.
Right.
So millions upon millions and billions and trillions of Catholic people all throughout the world. And this governing body at the Vatican is who calls the shots for all of it. Religion, it's got a huge influence on the world. It goes without saying. But Catholicism has a lot bigger reach than some of the other ones. So there's a lot of power that comes with being the Pope. There's a lot of power of being part of the Holy Sees, which is what they call the government, the group that, the governing whatever they do. There's just like a group of people that calls the fucking shots, the Holy Sees. You're probably a little bit more familiar with Catholic stuff than I am. I have no idea about Catholic. I've gone to one Catholic service my entire life. These
last 4 fucking hours.
These motherfuckers were up and down the entire time. I was with my friend. His mom took us, and I looked over her. I said, "Bitch, I got to sit down for a little bit." And she said, "That's fine. I don't like that you called me the B word, but you can sit down. You are chunky. I will let you sit down."
I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sent our kids to Catholic schools for a while.
Okay.
Not because of their religion, but because it's a way better school.
Yeah, you want to get their buttholes bored out.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's weird, man. I think that's weird that there's just this body at the Vatican City, these few people or whatever, that speak for the entire Catholic religion and then speak for people all over the world. And it's just crazy for me to think that.
It is weird.
I think it's kind of cool though, the way it's set up. And they got the little city walls, build the wall, don't let people in, but let's build some fucking walls around the Vatican. We don't want to let too many fucking people in, you know what I mean? They make their own license plates. They do their own shit there, man. It's crazy.
They're their own thing, man.
It is pretty cool.
Their own force.
But they've also got a secret archive, okay? Because the Catholic religion goes back thousands upon thousands of years. There's a lot of secrets in these archives. But they have opened up what they call the archives to a certain extent. There's still some things that they're not showing or telling the public, okay? And that's what we're here to talk to you about. This is the stuff that...
Because we know it all.
We know everything.
We know everything.
Yeah. You know what docking is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know what that is too.
Not that we know from experience.
No.
Maybe.
Just people ask me stuff all the time. Like, do you know what this is? Oh, yeah, I know what it is. And someone said, "Do you know what docking is?" And I said, "Yeah, I know what the fuck it is. I know what it is. Absolutely."
Yeah.
And they said, "You want to try it?" And I'm like, as soon as Mom gets back in here, I'm fucking leaving, Dad.
I don't have the foreskin for docking.
Oh, you just got to pull it real hard and you can do anything with it that you want.
Unfortunately, my foreskin was stolen from me at birth.
Mine never fully fell off after the surgery, so I just got a Funyun hanging down there.
You got a little raptor claw.
Yeah. Archivio Segreto Satacano. Why do I have that name written down right there?
I'm kind of wondering too.
Okay.
Archivio Segreto Vaticano.
This is the name for the secret archives.
I don't know why I said that in an Italian accent.
Well, it's in Italy.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. But this is the name for the archives. The Archivio Segreto Vaticano.
Pretty much archive, secret Vatican.
Chicken Parmigiana, please.
It does sound like something you'd order at the Olive Garden.
Don't quit cranking that cheese wheel till you see me start gasping for air either.
You ordered at the Olive Garden and then just a busboy comes out with an ass full of cheese. Just what I always wanted.
You don't bring me 48 peach teas right now to go with this lasagna. I ain't tipping nobody, and I'm still taking the goddamn chocolate mints with me. I don't care.
Those peach teas are the truth.
Yes. There was a documentary, the documentary heritage housed in its vast storeroom spans about 12 centuries. So these secret vaults below the Vatican, they go from the 8th to the 20th centuries. It consists of over 600 archival fonts and is stored on over 85 linear kilometers. What the fuck is a kilometer? I have no idea. My speedometer in my car says km, and I have no idea what it means. All I know is when I want to feel like I'm going faster, I watch that instead of the MPHs.
Pretty much double.
Yes, and I go really fast. Pretend I'm Vin Diesel. some of which is in the bunker, a 2-story underground vault below the Cortile della Pigna of the Vatican museums. So we're going to talk about the first thing here. Exorcisms.
Everybody's favorite pastime.
We're going to start off a little bit dark and we're going to get a little bit darker. Okay? Eventually, we're going to get to the point where there's a story of these priests sucking their own dicks that are attached to 6-year-old boys.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're not going to get to that point.
You had me and then you lost me.
We have made a lot of advances in psychology and neuroscience since exorcisms first started, which is very much true. We did a live show with a gentleman by the name of Bishop James Long. He's had some incredible shit that he's done in his life.
Awesome stuff.
If you can go back in our Patreon archives, his entire this gig is on there where he spoke at one of our live shows.
So good.
This guy has gone through some stuff, okay? Yeah. He's seen some exceptionally scary things. He's seen some things that he won't really talk about. And he doesn't do this for fame or money. He gets a lot of people that reach out to him that want him to do TV shows, and he does a lot of TV shows, but he refuses all of the money. He runs a battered women's, I don't know what it is. He just helps out women that are in need, that women that are kind of in between getting help and needing help, I guess. So he helps women that that are in domestic violence situations get groceries, shelter, hotel, stuff like that. And he runs a fantastic ministry with it, but he also is a very active demonologist and exorcist. And he does lots of incredible stuff. He has a podcast, I think it's called, I don't think he does many episodes, so I'm not even going to say the name of it. But we are going to have him on the show soon. There's a rather, and he talked about this in the live show, there's a rather rigorous checklist that he goes through before the word exorcism is even whispered. First, he checks their mental health, if they're on any type of psychotropic drugs, hallucinogenic drugs, if they're an alcoholic like Rob and I, and there's a strict review of the person's background. So he'll go back and say, talk to people, part of the family that have known them for years and say, hey, what's their behavior been like leading up to this point for their entire life? That just all of a sudden, you know, like, suck my fucking cock and suck my chump. Or how did it, how did this progress, I guess is what I should say. And that's really important that he's not just hopping straight to exorcism and say, all right, we're going to get the goddamn devil at you. But he's checking, you know, there's a checklist you have to go through.
Good old checks and balances.
Because a lot of people say they're possessed, and they're certainly not possessed.
Yeah.
They just want the attention, unfortunately.
Yep.
But he did a fantastic job whenever he worked with us at the live show. The truth is, exorcisms are still performed rather regularly to this day. Father Gabriel Amorth, the former chief exorcist of the Vatican, who died in 2016, claimed to have performed over 130,000 exorcisms.
Oh, good God.
That's one a day for at least a couple months. My arithmetic is not spot on. In 2018, the Vatican welcomed 250 priests from around the world to an annual exorcism school.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I wonder if I can get in that.
Dude.
Just like, they're like, this is for priests, not for monks, dickheads. We could get up in there.
That'd be sweet.
We just, if there's not a Taco Bell in the Vatican City, I'm not really thinking about going, though, honestly.
Yeah.
Rome and Italy is certainly on the bucket list of places to see before I die. There's just so much history there, along with Egypt. Those are all places I'd love to see, man. There's so much history in those places.
Yeah, I'd love to just go inside of a pyramid and never come out.
Shit in it.
Yeah. Just
one of the American tourists, he was pooping. There was a lot of blood.
I'll just be bummed if I go into one and there's like not like a block you hit and then like the floor turns into a slide and sucks you down.
Well, I'll tell you this. One of the most disappointing things that's ever happened to me. When we went to Disney World for the first time, I'm amped up. Just fucking Disney fucking World.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the giant castle.
Yeah.
That welcomes you in. I was so expecting magical things in that castle.
It's just a big plexiglass shell.
It's a fucking tunnel with trash cans.
That's all it is.
And I just sat there. I said, I don't want to be here. The kids look at me and go, Daddy, let's go. I said, what else do we need to see? This is the fucking Cinderella Sleeping Beauty's castle.
Yeah, that's lame.
It's a shit house. I think there's a bathroom in it.
The Haunted Mansion's pretty dope, though.
It's a goddamn outhouse is what it is.
They redeemed themselves with the Haunted Mansion.
It was dressed up outhouse in the history of all outhouses.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Haunted Mansion. I don't think I went there.
So good.
Really?
Yeah, it's so good.
Maybe I did. Maybe I'm thinking of the Boo Blaster at Kings Island. That's pretty slick right there, buddy. They still got Shaggy in there, even though they lost all the rights to the
from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Super stuff. Just in recent years, the Vatican has released information that they have seen a large uptick in demonic possessions.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's for goddamn millennials for you.
Too many TV shows.
This gentleman we talk about here in the beginning here, the chief exorcist, Father Gabriel Amorth, he went on record and did some interviews that said in some instances while he was performing exorcisms, people would start spitting up chunks of iron, broken glass, and even this is how he knew that it was an exceptionally bad case. They would start vomiting up rose petals or flower petals. And that's when he knew that these demonic entities or whatever was inside the people that he was performing the exorcisms on, that this thing was trying to mask itself as something good to the point that it would start burping up.
Like, just imagine being a demon and you're like, what would be good for them to throw up so it doesn't point a finger at me? Rose petals.
If I was performing an exorcism, it'd start shitting out McChickens. Oh, they're fine. This guy's fine. This guy's made a fucking goal. He's shitting out McChickens. Is there mustard on these McChickens? There's fucking mustard on these McChickens. You guys called me here for an exorcism and he's just spitting up McChickens? Wasting my goddamn time. I just, I love McChickens. Rob.
Rose petals.
Yeah.
Rose petals.
But if I did see an exorcism, someone started spitting up chunks of metal, I'm going to do the old SpongeBob. Like, all right, I'm out. I'm out. Shit's going down. And Bishop James Long Dong did talk about during our live show. I wonder if anyone ever calls him that. Next time we see him, be like, what up, Bishop Long Dong? He would get very upset. He's a very godly man.
Yeah, he is.
He is. He so much to the point. He came after our set, so he didn't have to hear us talk.
Was it? I thought he came before us and then left after.
No.
Yeah, because we were last. Because we usually always go last because we're the dirty ones.
Not that one. That one. He went last.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he came after we were done. But he talked about there's an archive of all of the exorcisms ever performed at the Vatican in that vault down below.
Yeah, he did talk about that.
You want to talk about something that would be exciting to go through. Just go through some of those really famous. There's not only in these archives are there just the notes from the priests, there are the videos and the cassette recordings.
Photographic
all
evidence.
Kinds of, that would be,
it would.
Fucking horror movies they could make out of that shit.
Man.
Oh, man. And as recently as 2000, I think it's happened one other time since then, a sitting pope, or a sitting poop as I like to call him, performed an exorcism. So oftentimes you got to rely on...
My Siri just popped up out of nowhere.
It's fine.
I have no idea how she, or what she heard.
She heard me call a sitting poop.
That was really weird.
She likes the sound of my voice.
If my Siri starts puking up rose petals, I'm going to be pissed.
It's fine, dude.
Maybe it'll give me a reason to get a new phone.
We'll be fine. So the popes traditionally don't perform exorcisms anymore. That's stuff for the people. I don't even know what the pope does, okay?
Just drives around in the fun car.
The Pope Mobile. Yeah, I don't know what the pope does exactly. But as recently as 2000, John Paul II attempted an exorcism on a woman that was brought to one of his services. She was screaming. My wife is taking a shower. I can hear that. You guys are going to hear some water for the next few minutes. It's fine.
It's all right.
She was screaming and writhing on the floor and drooling. As soon as she entered St. Peter's Square, her behavior turned very violent. When the Pope appeared, she began to wail, and it took 10 people to hold her down. She was uttering blasphemies, which is, when I'm watching these exorcisms,
oh, yeah,
that's the scariest stuff for me. Yeah. Fucking cocks it out. Like all that kind of wild, just off-the-wall shit. Your mother never loved you, did she? I didn't like that stuff, dude. The people that were there helping said she was like a beast ready to attack. After the service, I guess the exorcism was not successful by the Pope. So what kind of man of God? What
Man, not even-
kind of Pope?
Not even the Pope could get rid of that thing.
Yeah, he's just a fraud.
Can you imagine being that fucked up that you need the Pope, though?
Yeah,
It's like he's supposed to be like relaxing, kicking back, and like,
he is the doorkeeper for God. Okay?
right? Yeah,
And he can't even help you out.
man.
You imagine being the guy spitting up McChickens. Jesus. After the service, they drove the Pope up to her in the Pope mobile. She started screaming and yelling for the Pope to leave her alone. But like I said, the exorcism by the Pope didn't work. So Father Amorth, who we talked about earlier, the chief exorcist of the Vatican, brought her into a more private setting and fucked her until the demon. No, it didn't work. I made that part up.
He's a man of God.
He took her into a private setting.
He's got desert dick.
She's got the Funyun dick, like got that Funyun foreskin.
Got that dry dick.
The Pope's exorcism didn't work, so Father Amorth took her into a more private setting. After he started to bless her, she started to walk up the wall like Spider-Man.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, I want to be
Dude,
in on something like that.
If a demon can give me superpowers, it can crawl in through my wiener. I don't even care.
No, you wouldn't want that, dude.
Nah, it's okay.
Promise.
If I can
When
crawl up walls like Spider-Man.
When I was about 8, I tried to shove a ball pen, ink pen,
Ooh.
into my dick hole.
Oh, okay, that's no fun.
No, it hurt. I cried. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But anything going in your dick hole hurts.
Some people like that, man. There's whole fucking sex toys devoted to that.
I'm good, dude.
The urethra sounds.
Hold on a second. Have you ever just like... It's not like a... Okay. The dick hole.
Yeah.
It hurts when you touch the skin inside the dick hole.
Inside of it, yeah, yeah.
It fucking hurts. It's not like...
It doesn't feel good.
I've never had a vagina before, but...
Finger an open wound. That's kind of what it's like. My dick is an open wound. It's a crime scene.
Some guys like stuff inserted into their anuses.
Yeah.
And for the most part, women, their sex involves having things penetrating their vagina.
Just like we talked about, that's where our fun nuggets are at.
Right. Nugget surfing.
Yeah.
Okay. But your dick hole is not like that where
No.
it feels good. And there's people that shove
Metal rods.
big things up in there, dude.
Yeah.
If you're someone that shoves things inside your dick hole,
You need Jesus.
turn us off. Go to the Vatican and tell them you need to talk to the Pope right now. Okay? How did we get off so far off right here?
It's okay. We're just me talking about one of demon crawling my dick because I want to be like Spider-Man.
Okay. And that in the Indiana Hell House, we talked about that. The kid, the police, the caseworker, and the people in the ER watched that boy walk up the wall like Spider-Man as well.
Yeah.
So there's some pretty documented cases out there where these people that are possessed by demons do walk up walls and shit, dude. Man. I got nothing for it. I would shit the fucking bed. I would cry. I would start screaming bloody murder. But I do want to see, I would love to see something like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I would love to be there. I would scream and cry, but I'm big enough that if I hit a child, I would knock it out. Possessed or not, walking up the walls, picking your balls, whatever. If I struck a little child with a closed fist, I could possibly kill it. That's why when my kids, they say, Daddy, do you want to punch me in the face? I say, I would never I would never lay a finger on you, sweetheart. But I don't like other people's kids.
Yeah.
Big kids I don't know. I don't really like your kids. I can walk up to them like, hey, what's up, fucker? And they're good.
Yeah.
They're cool with me. But kids I don't know, they're like, you can't be mean to them because they're not your kids.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can't tell them to get in line. Oh, fuck it. I'll punch you and I'll fucking kill you. If I struck you with my paw.
Yeah, it's different when it's people's kids you don't know.
Yeah.
Because me, like I said, I'll just tell my kids, shut up or I'm going to put your face in my ass. And that's... They shut up real quick.
Daddy had onions. That's why, dude, every time I see my kids' teachers for conferences, I say, thank you so much for doing what you do.
Oh, yeah.
That is such a thankless job, dude.
It really is.
Oh, man. You just be in the room with a bunch of kids you don't like. There may be 2 or 3 of them you do like. You got to be real, though, dude.
Especially at that age, because, the kids don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit.
No,
I hate it for them.
Our middle kid called his teacher by his first name.
Hey, Roger.
I was like, Carter, that's really rude.
That's fantastic.
I don't know. He's like, hey, Anthony. I'm like, dude, don't do that.
Is that right? Did I get it right? Oh, okay. On to the next one. This is fucking fantastic. Okay.
Yes.
I told you it was going to start off kind of dry and then it was going to progress. We're progressing here. We're talking about WikiLeaks and aliens at the Vatican. Whoa. Oh, pumpkin down there.
Grumpy.
Do you hear that? She said, we have the nice cat in here tonight. She's usually not in here. I think I fixed our recording setup. It's been fucked up, but I've been using a bad SD card. I just found that out tonight. So
Okay.
hopefully these videos will start making it on YouTube again because we film all of them. It's just a matter of having shit that works.
Right.
So WikiLeaks and aliens. In an email dated January 18th, 2015 from former astronaut Edgar Mitchell to John Podesta, he was the Democratic Party advisor and he was Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign chairman.
Right on.
John Podesta in the world of politics is up there, okay?
Yeah.
And the WikiLeaks stuff is all the stuff that came out when Hillary Clinton and the email scandal, all that shit, shuffled to the back of all those emails that were released was this email from a former astronaut, Edgar Mitchell, to John Podesta. In the email, I'll let you read the fucking email.
Sure. It says, Dear John, as 2015 unfolds, I understand you are leaving the administration in February. It is urgent that we agree on a date and time to meet and discuss disclosure and 0 point energy at your earliest available after your departure. My Catholic colleague Terry Mansfield will be there too to bring us up to date on the Vatican awareness of ETI. Another colleague is working on a new space treaty, citing involvement with Russia and China. However, Russia's extreme interference in Ukraine, I believe we must pursue another route for peace in space and ZPE on Earth. I met with President Obama's Honolulu childhood friend, U.S. Ambassador Pamela Hamamoto.
That sounds Hawaiian for sure.
Very much. On July 4th at the U.S. mission in Geneva, when I was able to tell her briefly about 0 point energy. I believe we can enlist her as a confidant and resource in our presentation for President Obama. I appreciate Aaron's assistance and work with Terry to set up our meeting. Best regards, Edgar. Edgar D. Mitchell, Chief Science Officer and Founder, Quantrek, Apollo 14 astronaut.
Sixth man to walk on the moon.
Sixth man to walk on the moon.
So that is an email fucking scavenged from our government, okay? 0 point energy. Another thing in there, ETIs, okay?
Extraterrestrial intelligence.
Terry Mansfield, that we talk about, is a lobbyist and advocate for what's described as alien beings in our universe. She runs the Extraterrestrial Intelligence Peace Task Force, or the ETI. Our nonviolent ETI from the contiguous universe are helping us bring, and this is what they are saying, that they are helping bring 0 point energy to Earth. They will not tolerate any forms of military violence on Earth or in space. And that's what this person that's being interviewed by the government and whatnot, this is what she's portraying in her writings and research that she's putting out. In 2015, Pope Francis, which is the current setting pope, I do believe, was asked about the possibility of life on other planets. In his answer, he didn't specifically deny the possibility of there being aliens. And Pope Francis says, honestly, I wouldn't know how to answer. Until America was discovered, we thought it didn't exist, and instead it existed. But in every case, I think we should stick to what the scientists tell us, still aware that the Creator is infinitely greater than our knowledge. Rumor of alien skulls, and this is a completely different shift here.
Mm-hmm.
So we have these emails where the government is having meetings with these officials in reference to there being alien intelligence and them having the ability to use zero force gravity. Okay. The Vatican, there's I guess rumors, okay. At one point, they were renovating the libraries and the vaults below the Vatican. They came across skulls of things that weren't of this world.
Mhm.
Okay, elongated skulls, atypical eye sockets of what the aliens you see in the media and whatnot. And this was a huge hush hush. No one talked about it. It was kind of, why would they want to talk about it if it would indeed confirm in the writing hieroglyphics and ancient writings and shit? There's fucking saucers flying through the air on these ancient writings and hieroglyphics.
Right.
That stuff doesn't add up unless there was stuff back then that was extraterrestrial. Okay. And that's my opinion.
Definitely. I mean, there's what reason would someone from back then have to take the time to write these hieroglyphics on the walls just to fuck with people from the future?
Oh, dude, it's let's fucking write this shit down. Encino Man, he definitely saw some shit. They froze him trying to dig a pool out.
Yeah,
they found him. You want to talk about a good movie? You ever watched Encino Man?
No.
It's got Brendan Fraser and Pauly Shore in it.
That's why I've never watched it.
It's one of the greatest. So I'm really
Brendan Fraser.
A lot of people got upset with you last week because you're like, you legalize all drugs, fucking heroin.
But they failed to hear the part where I just said I was trolling afterwards.
At the end, you said, "Yeah, I'm just messing with you guys." But I said, email the show, say, "Rob, you're wrong." We got several emails that said, "Rob, you're
People
wrong."
are wild.
And this is another instance. Rob, you're wrong. Email us. Tell him how much of a piece of shit he is that he's never seen Encino Man before.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of classic movies I haven't seen. It's all right.
Me as well.
Yeah.
That's fine. But Encino Man, I feel like, would benefit your soul.
Okay.
Ultimately. There's also rumors that there is a secret pact or treaty that the Vatican has with these extraterrestrials. And one episode I've been working on for a few weeks is the fact that Dwight D. Eisenhower made physical contact with aliens, and there is a fucking space treaty, okay?
Hell yeah.
And there's stuff that adds up to this. There's all kinds of different things that... He got a toothache, he disappeared. Dwight Eisenhower met with the aliens at a very volatile time in the history of mankind, okay?
They performed his tooth extraction.
No, they didn't. That was just a cover-up, all right? But there's the whisperings that the Vatican has a secret communication line, not a fucking telephone they can pick up and be like, "Hey, are ET's home?" It's just they can somehow communicate with these extraterrestrials. And there's a plan in place that the Pope is currently working on in this Holy Seas, that the aliens are going to implant all of us with computer chips without us knowing it. We're killing off the fucking... All right, let's smoke some weed. Let's smoke some marijuana. These the Vatican, the Holy Seas, are going to utilize these aliens to implant us with computer chips that will allow them to, because one of the problems...
at this point, I think I'd rather trust aliens to give me, computer chips than the government.
Yeah, but the reason they want these computer chips in Catholic people, or us, everyone... One thing that the Catholic religion has always struggled with, you have to confess your sins to a bishop or a priest or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's oftentimes you're not telling the entire truth.
Mm-hmm.
You're not telling your full heart's, the full disclosure of your heart of what you're actually feeling and the things you've done, okay? With these computer chips, they'll be able to really tell, what you're thinking about, what you're feeling. You were beating off to Cabbage Patch Kids and...
Sir, I have a confession to make. It was I who took a upper decker in the church bathroom last week.
That's an aggressive move.
That's a power move.
That is a power move. That is saying, I am done with this fucking party. I am leaving. My mom and dad could never figure out which one of us was upper decking their house. That was some hateful stuff on my part. To poop my mom and dad's tank like that.
And to just keep filling up with the poop water.
Yeah, it was Christmas morning this year that I did it. They knew it was me, though, because I got really hard stool now because I'm old and I have a really poor diet.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. How about this lumpy one right here? So there's a possibility that the Vatican's utilizing extraterrestrial technology to implant us with computer chips. So
Bring it
they
on.
Can figure out everything we're thinking, everything we're doing. All right. I hope it happens. Yeah. I really do. All right. This kind of goes hand in hand with all this.
Hell yeah.
We're on to the Illuminati and secret rituals of the Vatican.
Yeah. It's getting sexy now.
The Illuminati, in my infinite travels on the internet, cannot be defined in one paragraph. The Illuminati cannot be defined in one page of literature.
Mm-hmm.
The Illuminati can loosely be defined in a piece, a book, okay, maybe. But the Illuminati means many different things. It is a powerful and savagely guarded organization that secretly controls the entire world, allegedly, okay? The Illuminati has done this mainly through infiltrating the media and brainwashing everybody. It could be doing it right now as we speak.
Hell yeah. I'd say now's the perfect time to do it. Everybody's a fucking bipartisan sheep one way or the other.
Okay, and we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
The elections are coming up, 2020. Rob and I have made it abundantly clear we couldn't give a fuck less.
Right.
We could not give any less of a fuck. I don't think I've voted since I've been old enough to do so, and I'm over 30 years old now.
Yeah.
I just don't fucking care, okay? If the price of insurance goes up, I'll work a couple more hours. They take more out of my paycheck, I'll stay a couple more hours. As long as it does not affect the inside walls of my fucking house, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And good luck trying to get inside the four walls of my house because I've got security systems, guns, dogs, windows. I've got all that shit.
A rabid baby.
A rabid baby. I've got candles that are never blown out, so I always have a handful of hot fucking wax to throw anytime I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case if you want to burn someone or fuck them.
Yeah, and if you've never eaten hot wax out of another man's asshole before, I would recommend never doing it because some really bad things can happen when you heat up that butthole. You can get some stuff coming out.
Man, I bet.
It's just like anything else. You heat it up, it gets a little loose.
Little ass fondue.
A little dumpling from the 90s. Little 90s dumpling. Oh, okay. You stone cold that thing. You kind of shot all over the place. I like it.
That's what she said.
What? You see that Underquaker thing I posted on the Facebook page?
So good. Yeah, so good.
That's stupid. Yeah, to go hand in hand with the Illuminati is the NWO.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan.
Which is a faction of Kevin Nash, Scott Hall,
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan back in the 90s.
Later Sting.
During the Monday Night Wars. No, the New World Order, what we're talking about.
Yeah, brother.
Is a conspiracy theory. He posted a picture on his Facebook. He's got a big gray beard now. It really
Does he really?
freaked me out, but he's
That's
getting
weird.
fucking jacked, though. He's
Is
getting
he?
yoked. Yeah, he's coming back.
For him.
He wants to come back. As long as they can keep
How
him
can his spine's like
No,
deteriorated?
he's just got like his 11th surgery.
He's got a Twizzler for a
Brother.
spine.
As long as they can keep him away from the N-words, they're
That's
really,
true.
really good on TV. No, the NWO we're talking about is a conspiracy theory which claims that some powerful group is either secretly running the world or on the verge of gaining such control, implying that if and when they do, the end times is upon us.
Yeah, they already do.
Okay, so I don't know who this person is. She's a writer of some type, Savali, S-V-A-L-I, but she wrote a book, okay, and she claims to have been part of the Illuminati elite, and she grew up in the Catholic Church and partaking in these Vatican rituals and Vatican the shit going on below the Vatican, okay?
Okay. It's folly.
It's claimed that while Mass is being said in the Sistine Chapel and tourists are being shown the works of Michelangelo, deep within the bowels of the Vatican sits a large circular room with 13 separate chambers, each leading to a distinct catacomb.
Oh, this is so fucking cool.
When a mummified body is placed in front of each doorway, a young child is then brutally sacrificed with a long golden knife during what is said to be a secret induction ceremony for new members of the Illuminati, better known as the New World Order. So the New World Order and the Illuminati, two of the same things. Think about this for a second. There's a secret room below the Vatican, 13 different chambers coming off of this, but they all gather in this central heartbeat room. They placed mummified bodies in front of the chambers, and they perform this ritual where they sacrifice a small child. And this person, this Savali person, says she was involved in these rituals several different times, and in this next few parts I'm going through, it's quite graphic.
Yeah.
And it's coming from her and her representation of what happened, but she says she was there, okay? So just keep in mind, this is pretty graphic. Obviously, children die, okay? But it's some really good shit. This is a quote, after the boy was sacrificed, and this is her words, I had to bow and kiss the ring of the priest in the scarlet robes and swear to serve the New World Order for the rest of my life, recalls Savali. She's 48 at the time of this writing. About the senseless sacrifice of what looked like a drugged little boy. And this happened during her 1970 induction ceremony in the feared Illuminati. She also says, I also had to swear to serve he who is to come as the great leader. What in your mind can that be interpreted as, Rob? Swear to serve he who is to come as the great leader. It's like a fucking Voldemort or Palpatine.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's definitely somebody who's going to rise to power, but who the fuck could it be?
So just, I don't know, so dark.
I don't know, yeah.
It's very ambiguous, but it's very dark.
It's the fucking Rothschild.
I don't, and that's the thought process that the New World Order, it is pushing ahead this agenda that of a one world government where they can control the population and make the people who they want the people to be. They don't like fat fucking dudes that podcast. They can just hit the switch.
Bye, guys.
We're gone.
Goodbye.
Like, it'll just be our interest music, and then it'll just be an hour of silence.
A fart.
And hopefully people keep turning in and just whacking off to it, just crying like, they were just here last week, and then the fucking Vatican and the Illuminati fucking killed them. I think Nick might have died from a heart attack because he was really unhealthy, but I think they killed Rob for sure.
Oh, man. Oh. I'm a snitch, so if they come knocking on my door, I'll tell them anything they want to know.
Tell them anything you want to know. Right?
It was Nick, I fucking swear. I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, it was all his idea. Now, she says, looking back, it was just horrific, and terror rushes into my mind every time I think about what happened. I remember counting the 13 mummified figures in front of the catacombs and a voice saying, the spirits of the Father are watching over you.
Jeez.
And that is when the little boy was sacrificed. A priest did that in scarlet robes, and terror still goes through my mind when I think about it. The Illuminati are a group of people who follow a philosophy known as Illuminism or Enlightenment. The Illuminati were named several hundred years ago, but trace their roots in history to the ancient mystery religions of Egypt, ancient Babylon, and even Mesopotamia.
So fucking cool.
Out of these ancient religions, which were practiced secretly over hundreds and hundreds of years, there arose esoteric groups which continued to practice the rites, traditions, and enculturation brought in from the original groups. Over the centuries, these groups practiced openly in some countries and covertly. Sorry, I got a piece of fucking food in my mouth or something. What a fat fuck.
Oh, shit.
Covertly in countries where Christianity or other religions opposed their practices. Some of the groups which came out of these ancient roots included the Order of Knights Templar, Rosicrucians, I think that's what it is.
Nice.
Baphomism? What the fuck is that? Baphomism?
I think it's Buffetimism.
I got the piece of food. Taco Bell. In Druidic cults, these groups were the forerunners or roots of modern-day Illuminism. The original Illuministic leaders chose to take what they felt were the best practices of each root religion, combine them into principles, and then organize these principles according to specific guidelines. Modern-day Illuminism is a philosophy funded by the wealthy, but practiced in all social strata. It is a philosophy whose tenets have spread across the world. It started with the German branches of Rosicrucians, spread to England, and then came to the United States with the first settlers. All groups have goals, and the Illuminists are no exception. Money-making is not their final goal. It is a means to an end. That's pretty fucking crazy. This end point or goal is no less than to rule the world. The Illuminati has a set plan similar to the Soviet Union's previous 5 and 10-year plans. This is what the Illuminists themselves believe and teach their followers as gospel truth. Whether they will actually succeed in another matter altogether, the following is the Illuminist agenda at all levels of the Illuminati. As with any goal, the Illuminati has specific steps which it plans to implement to reach its objectives. Briefly, each region of the United States has nerve centers. Okay, that's pretty fucking cool. Or power bases for regional activity. The United States has been divided up into seven major geographical regions. Each region has localities within it that contain military compounds and bases that are hidden in remote, isolated areas or on large private estates. These bases are used intermittently to teach and train generational Illuminati and military techniques, hand-to-hand combat, crowd control, use of arms, and all aspects of military warfare. Why? Because the Illuminists believe that our government, as we know it, as well as the government of most nations around the world, are destined to collapse. These will be planned collapses, and they will occur in the following ways. The Illuminati has a plan first for a financial collapse, which is very fucking possible, that will make the Great Depression look like a picnic. This will occur through the maneuvering of the great banks and financial institutions of the world through stock manipulation and interest rate changes. Think about this, Rob. You wake up one morning, you go to check your online banking, all of your fucking money is gone. Your payday comes.
That's every week, man.
Yeah. Payday comes. You're expecting this money to hit. The money never hits.
Fuck.
The world, as we know it, is fucking toast.
I can't be more fucked than what I am right now, brother.
Right. But I'm telling you.
Why do you think we're running ads on this shit now?
Yeah. Money, like they say, is the root of all evil. Okay. You can do anything with money.
Share some of that evil with me, people.
They say money can't buy love. Money can buy literally anything. You can pay a person to love you. Yeah. Someone, Richie Rich, no one loved that motherfucker, but he had a roller coaster in his backyard. He got a lot of friends after that.
You know how many hot Russians with fake titties would love you for just the money?
Yes.
That's all right.
It's very possible to buy love with money.
Yeah.
But for one day to wake up and all of the money in the entire world is gone, ceased,
that'd
gone.
Be terrifying.
There's nothing, I mean nothing.
Level playing field at that point.
That would stop the world from ending at that point. You would have total anarchy. Okay, people would be fucking killing, robbing, stealing, everything. There would be no rule. There would be no rule of the land except for the people that are trained to rule the land, the people that have all of the money, the people that have the military working for them, the people that have the guns, the people that have the food, all of the people with the money that take the money. They would essentially rule the fucking world. Okay, and they could just do whatever the fuck they wanted. They could
just hitting a big reset button.
They could walk in to my house and fuck me.
You got any of that KFC?
I could not. I've always told myself if I'm put in a situation where I am being aggressively raped by another man, that I would shit myself. But if I am out of money and I have not eaten in days, I would be unable to defecate. Undoubtedly. I would have no natural defense mechanism from being fucked in the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be rough.
It would be, rough for them. Because, man.
Like going in dry.
Yeah. I would be like a heroin addict. I just lay there. Just
Make it quick.
Yeah. Most people will be indebted to the federal government through bank and credit card debt, etc. The governments will recall all debts immediately, but most people will be unable to pay and will be bankrupted. This will cause generalized financial panic, which will occur simultaneously worldwide as the Illuminists firmly believe in controlling people through finances, like I just said. Next, there will be a military takeover region by region as the government declares a state of emergency and martial law. People will have panicked. There will be an anarchical state in most localities. Sorry, I'm fucking struggling tonight. I should have made a bigger font. I can't fucking read. And the government will justify its move as being necessary to control panicked citizens. The cult-trained military leaders and people under their direction will use arms as well as crowd control techniques to implement this new state of affairs. This is why so many survivors under 36 years of age report having military programming. People who are not Illuminists or who are not sympathetic to their cause will resist. The Illuminists expect this and will be and are being trained in how to deal with this eventuality. Yeah. They are training their people in hand-to-hand combat, crowd control, and if necessary, will kill everyone to control the crowds. The Illuminati is training their people to be prepared for every possible reaction to the takeover. Many mind control victims will also be called into duty with preset command
Dude,
codes.
that's so fucking dope.
That's the Manchurian
Yeah,
stuff.
the Manchurian
man.
candidates.
The MK Ultra stuff is there's a huge belief that the MK Ultra shit was
sleeper cell organizations.
was based off Illuminati desires. That
Yeah.
This was an Illuminati project.
Imagine you're just sitting there eating dinner, then you fucking just implanted in your head, you just hear someone say, Rosebud. And then you just fucking start snapping necks.
Yeah, you just start spreading butt cheeks.
Motorboating assholes.
These codes are meant to call out a new, completely cult-loyal presenting system. Shatter codes programmed under trauma will be used to destroy or bury non-cult loyal altars. Military bases will be set up in each locality. Actually, they're already here, but are covert. That's fucking terrifying that they're already here. In the next few years, they will go above ground and be revealed. Okay, so these are below ground. Each locality will have regional bases and leaders to which they are accountable. The hierarchy will closely reflect the current covert hierarchy. About 5 years ago, when I left the Illuminati, this is still this lady speaking that was allegedly in this program, or allegedly in this Illuminati shit. She says, about 5 years ago when I left the Illuminati, approximately 1% of the U.S. population was either part of the Illuminati, sympathetic to it, or a victim of mind control and therefore considered usable. While this may not sound like many, imagine 1% of the population highly trained in the use of armaments, crowd control, psychological and behavioral techniques armed with weapons and linked to paramilitary groups. These people will also be completely dedicated to their cause. The Illuminati firmly believes that it can easily overcome the other 99% of the population, most of whom are untrained or poorly trained, such as weekend hunters. Oh, you don't fuck with me, man. I was watching goddamn NASCAR. I stood up, scratched my dick, went out and shot a goddamn 12.48 point buck. Took it back to my shed, skinned it. Obama ain't taking my goddamn guns. I'll fuck up the Illuminati. I will fuck the Illuminati. Ain't nobody fucking with my shit, bub. I got a Facebook, and I ain't put my picture. Got my Oakleys. I'm going to put my picture on there. Look at this picture of my truck nuts I took. That's my fucking truck, bub. I ain't got it paid off, but that's my goddamn truck, bub.
Don't tread on me.
Don't tread on me, goddammit. Even the local military will overcome, as the Illuminati will have regional cell groups with highly trained leaders. They also count on the element of surprise helping them during their takeover. Many of the highest leaders in the militia branch of the Illuminati are or have been officers in the military, and so already have a good knowledge of which techniques will work best to overcome a region's or locality's defense. Jesus Christ.
All right.
After the military takeover, the general population will be given a chance to either espouse the Illuminati's cause or reject it, with imprisonment, pain, even death being possible punishments. These people very much believe that the intelligence, or quote, enlightened or illuminated, were born to rule. They're arrogant and consider the general population as dumb sheep who will be easily led if offered strong leadership, financial help, and unstable world economy, and dire consequences if the person rebels. Their utter ruthlessness and ability to implement this agenda should not be minimized. The Illuminati banking leaders, such as the Rothschilds, the Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, and the Mellons, what a cool fucking last name,
The Mellons,
will reveal themselves and offer to, quote, save the floundering world economy.
I don't know anything about the Mellons.
Me neither.
I know the other ones.
John Cougar Mellencamp. A new system of monetary exchange based on an international monetary system and based between Cairo, Egypt, and Brussels, Belgium, will be set up. A true one world economy, creating the longed for one world order, will become reality. And that's what this lady says is the plan.
The end game.
The end game, yes, for the world itself. So, I'm certainly not fucking enlightened. I'm ignorant shit. But,
yeah,
if they take all my money away,
if they want to offer me a sweet gig, then hell yeah.
They take all my money away and then offer me food, I'm going to eat, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, I'm a sheep. I'm not the sheepdog. Like,
I might do some shanking for some food.
that you wouldn't have to. That's the whole entire thing right here is they take it
That's
all
true.
away from you and they put their hand out and say, I can give it back to you if you just promise to do this.
Take a knee.
Yeah. Don't ever leave your home and quit your job.
Kiss the ring.
Kiss my ring after I stab this fucking baby. I'm going to stab the baby. If you're a baby stabber, fuck you. Quit. Turn us off.
Do something better with your free time.
Quit stabbing babies.
Maybe start a podcast.
Quit being disgusting. In my infinite travels around the world, I've told you
Right.
before on the show that I was briefly a security officer.
Yeah.
I learned more about life as a security officer than any other job I've had. Between the law enforcement and the prison, all the shit I've done, I learned more from the security officer job, how to manage people, how to get things that I want using my cunning ability to charm the pants off of people. I learned it through being a security officer. One job I had was at the St. Pete's Festival. Is that the one in Huber Heights?
Yep. That's from, yeah.
Okay. The St. Pete's Festival. And if you're not from this part of the world, they may not do this where you're at, but the Catholic churches around here have huge festivals in the summertime. They use these festivals to make a lot of fucking money because the church and the people of the community go to these festivals. They buy a bunch of fucking beer. They eat a bunch of fish. They play all the games. They put the kids on the rides. They spend a lot of money at these festivals and give the church a lot of money.
Yes, they do.
I was working outside, making sure the kids and the adults, everyone mind their fucking P's and Q's. And I saw a young lady at the, the blackjack table. My young lady, she was probably 55 or 60. I watched this bitch stuff about $5,000 in her brawl throughout the day. And then finally at the end of the day, I went to, there was he was the head security officer of the church. And I said, hey, this lady's put about, a lot of money in her brawl throughout the day. She said, yeah, you fucking serious? I've been watching her all day. I didn't see anything. I said, try again. There's a lot of money up in that brawl. We walked up to her. She gave it all back. They made her leave. The next day, I was like, man, that's so sad that she's stealing from the church like that. This money's going for a good cause. The next day, I got moved inside because they needed somebody armed inside to sit in front of there was a main room there. And this is the main office when you would walk into the church. And just to the right of the front desk was the living quarters, just a big, giant studio apartment with the door wide open for the priest that resided over the church. I can't remember what his name was. Oh, let me look it up real quick.
Well, yeah, it was before. I know a lot about this. This is where the kids used to go to school.
Okay.
I don't remember what his name was, but he was before the father that was there a couple years ago. But he definitely got sent to prison for embezzlement.
Earl Simon.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep. Father Simon.
Every half an hour, people would make trips into this main room and they would drop off all the cash that was being taken in at the festival through all the gambling, the food, all this stuff. And they would bring it in and they would bring it to this room and the helpers of the church would count the money. This Earl Simon dude in the wheelchair piss pants. I know he pissed himself. I could fucking smell it on him. I knew he used, I could smell the piss from, I'm just sitting in this room making sure no one barges in and takes all the money.
Right.
This motherfucker is sitting in the threshold of his studio apartment watching every single dollar get counted out, which I said to myself, maybe he's trying to make certain that no one is stealing the money. But then he stands up out of his wheelchair. He's sitting in this wheelchair. He's got a cat in his fucking lap. He's like the guy from Inspector Gadget, just fucking claw the cat in his lap.
Yeah.
He stands up and he just says, I need everybody to get out. And everyone looks at him. They look at me. And I'm like, you heard the man. Everyone get out. And he looks at me. He's like, I need you to get out too. I was really hoping to get my dick sucked. I thought I was going to get my penis sucked on. Not what happened. So we got out. He opens the door. About 20 minutes later, he says, okay, you guys can come back in and finish what you were doing. I come back in and sit down, and they walk back in. All the fucking money's gone. Okay? Probably tens of thousands of dollars, all gone. And they said, we weren't done banding that up, because they put the bands, they counted out and they put the band around it. They said, we weren't done banding that up. And he just says, you people think I'm too incompetent to take care of all that myself. I've taken care of it. All you worry about is money. Just freaking the fuck out. Just yelling at these people, berating them. And I'm thinking, I'm really not going to get my dick sucked. This guy is really mean and upsetting. Okay. Come to find out.
You're killing my boner, sir.
This guy, Father Earl Simon. This is from the fucking Dayton Daily News. Yeah. Reverend Earl Simon, 75, will spend 5 years in prison for stealing $1.9 million from his former Catholic church in Huber Heights, where he is pastor for 23 years, according to an agreement made in March when he admitted guilt. So this dude was buying, says he was living lavishly. There's evidence to prove Father Simon stole over $1.9 million over at least 7 years. The emotional... No, I don't fucking care about that shit. Of course they're fucking hurt. They lost all that money.
Hell yeah.
But he was buying properties. He's supposed to just be... when you're the priest of the church, you fucking stay in your studio apartment and you study the word of God and you don't fuck people.
Yeah.
Why would everyone make that?
There's like 3 rules.
Yes.
Yeah.
This guy had rental properties all throughout the community, all kinds of different shit going on. He was thousands upon thousands of dollars in debt. He had all kinds of civil judgments against him at the local courts. And he had this stuff going on for decades before this stuff actually happened. But it just goes to show these people do dark things, okay? They do bad things. This goes hand in hand with all of the priests and the Catholics that just molest the fucking shit out of the little boys, okay? I hope and pray that anyone listening to the show, if anyone was ever affected by the actions of one of these priests, I hope you came out okay.
Yeah.
I hope you came out on the other side, a good person, a functioning human in society. For those of you that are still suffering from the after effects of something like this, even if it's not necessarily being molested by a priest, of any sexual assault, reach out and get the help you need to help yourself get better, because
you're definitely not alone.
The person the world needs you at your best.
Yeah,
absolutely. So these Catholics, not all Catholics, but the Catholic religion in general, these people are very capable of horrible things, and it's not the boots on the ground Catholics. It's not the Nick and Rob Catholics, the guys drinking the wine and eating the fish and playing the games at the festival.
Yeah. Everybody that we know from our time in the Catholic school system is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. But it's the people in charge that are bad fucking people.
Oh, yeah.
And that's no different at the Vatican. If the shit's happening in Huber Heights, it's St. Pete's. The shit is fucking happening at the Vatican City, where all the stuff goes a millionfold. Yeah. And that's where it takes me as a segue to my next portion. During World War II, the Red Cross and the Vatican both helped thousands of Nazi war criminals and collaborators to escape after the Second World War. That's right. The fucking Vatican.
Nazis
were helping the Nazis hide from their war crimes. This is according to a book that pulls together evidence from unpublished documents.
We did that too, so.
Yeah, absolutely. The Red Cross has previously acknowledged that its efforts to help refugees were used by Nazis because administrators were overwhelmed by the research. What this is saying in short, there were so many requests for different things after the war. The Red Cross couldn't even fucking deal with it anymore. Just anybody that wanted anything, they're just like, all right, I'll help you out. I'll do it. There was a lot of evidence to suggest that the Vatican, the Catholic Church, was assisting the Nazis in hiding from their war crimes. I'm not going to read through all this shit because we're already at an hour and 15 minutes, and the next part is really, really good. Let me see if I can find the meat and potatoes of this portion of the research here. In addition to smuggling actual Nazis out of Europe and into South America, there is little doubt about the Vatican also used its privileged sovereignty to help smuggle Nazi-looted gold, art, and other property belonging to Jewish families and other victims of the Holocaust. As General Posner explains in an opinion piece in the Washington Post, efforts to get the Vatican to involve themselves in restitution efforts or even to open their war-era archives have roundly rebuffed since at least the Clinton administration. In his book, God's Bankers, however, Posner investigates the possibility the war-era Vatican was up to something that was shockingly impossible, somehow even grosser than helping Nazis keep looted family heirlooms they had stolen from their murder victims. The Vatican's financial advisor, Bernardino Nagara, the founder of the Vatican Bank, is said to have potentially been on one of the Third Reich spies in the Vatican, and though the destruction of wartime records make the full scope of his plan unclear, he and the Nazis are alleged to have instituted a scheme wherein the Vatican invested in Italian insurance companies, which kept all the assets from life insurance plans of murdered European Jews.
Dang.
That is fucking
That's
dirty
crazy.
right there. Because the Vatican was just an investor and not the direct insurer, they didn't have to pay back any of the money they made in the scheme. If you think gambling on the lives of Jewish people, stealing from their heirs, and directly profiting from the Holocaust is the most ghoulish thing you can think of, certainly correct.
Wow.
Isn't that some fucking underhanded shit right there?
That's crazy.
That's sure...
The fact that they were even able to do that's wild.
Yeah. Another thing they go through at the Vatican there are these secret tribunals where, so you and I do something bad. We go to the priest and say, "Oh, fuck my mother so hard." whatever badness, whatever horrible things you did. All that dog licked a lot of peanut butter off my nuts. He was so happy.
I watched my dad jerk off. I might have helped.
I watched him jerk off with my hand.
I tickled his balls.
I watched my dad jerk off my grandfather.
Oh, God.
And I jerked off to it. That's bad.
And my mom watched me.
It was 3 generations of just really hard masturbating.
It's like a line.
It was like jerking off with my great-great-grandfather in the Civil War. They have these secret tribunals for even that stuff. You go to the priest and say, "I watched my dad jerk off my grandpa, my uncle." You have to go there and tell them, "Yeah, I did this bad stuff." But they also have their stuff that happens that's worse than that, worse sins than that. And they have these secret tribunals. Examples include reasons you would have to bypass the priest and go to these secret tribunals to confess your sins. Assassinating the Pope, a priest breaking the seal of the confessional by exposing the identity or the sin of someone confessing, a priest having sex with someone and then forgiving them for the sin of doing it with the priest. Holy shit. Performing or paying for an abortion and then trying to become a priest, or spitting out a communion wafer.
This wafer tastes like shit.
So, for instance, genocide, with the shit that Hitler fucking did.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't need to go to a secret tribunal for that. That's sin. He could specifically just go to a priest and say, "Oh, yeah, wiped out the entire fucking world. I'm sorry." And they're just like, "All right, you're good, dude. You're golden."
I killed millions of people.
But these secret tribunals are for sins that are worse than the worst, okay? The Pope, acting through this tribunal in its heads, known as the Major Penitentiary, then subsequently either grants absolution to the person seeking mercy or lets the automatic excommunication that comes with such grievous sins stand. Such cases are held privately, as they are considered to be a matter of conscience and not public concern, which sure is a conclusion one would reach.
So pretty much they're just like, well, you're going to have to fucking leave the church now.
Yeah.
That's like the worst punishment they could think of.
I will never watch anyone spit out a fucking wafer without them bearing the consequences. Oh.
That communion wafer was awful spicy.
I spit out a wafer earlier, the stroop waffle. My wife's like, "We got stroop waffles up here." I said,
I don't even know what that is.
It's a fucking waffle with 2 pieces of caramel between it.
Okay.
And there was a bag sitting there, and then there was one not in the bag off to the side. I said, "Oh, she already got it out for me." I took a bite. I spit the fucking wafer out because apparently that one fell out of the bag and she hadn't thrown it away yet.
You might want to talk to your priest.
It was hard like a Funyun foreskin, for sure. For sure, some bad stuff going on there.
That was a bad body of Christ.
You've never had a stroop waffle?
Never even heard of it.
They're good, dude.
Huh.
I'll get you one before you leave. I know you like to eat stuff like that.
Fucking lead anything.
Oh, I think this is the last one here. This is a good one, though.
Let's take a time out for a minute. I got to go take a...
We're back. Rob had to pee.
Sure did.
We're good.
Nature called.
This is not the last thing. We got a couple more things after this, but all really, really good stuff. This is the secrets of Fatima. So this is said to be some things they have hidden in the archives that they are not being completely forthcoming about. The basic background to Fatima is this. In 1917, over the course of 6 months, the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared to 3 children in Portugal. The most well-known of these children is named Lucia Santos, and she was with the pair of cousins during these apparitions named Jacinta and Francisco Marto. The reason Lucia is more famous is specifically because of the secrets and her revealing of the secrets at the request of the local bishop. As news of the apparitions grew during the 6 months they occurred, many people naturally asked for some kind of proof. So during the final apparition of Fatima in October of 1917, Mary had the sun dance in the sky, an event that was reported in newspapers and witnessed by tens of thousands of people. But this is not what gets people's imaginations inflamed. It is the secrets. The children, especially Lucia, maintain that Our Lady gave visions to the children, which they were to keep secret. These visions were given to the children during one of the middle visits, so not the first visit nor the final visit. 23 years after the events themselves, Lucia was ordered by the local bishop of Fatima to write the secrets, and she was willing, and she willingly did so for the first 2. So she was told 3 secrets whenever Mother Mary appeared to her and told her these things. But the 3rd secret she absolutely would not give up. However, she was not convinced that she should release the contents of the 3rd secret. The bishop ordered her under holy obedience to do so, and she wrote out the secret and placed it in a sealed envelope that was not to be opened for 19 years or 1960, when she said it would be clear to understand. The first secret is not really what we would consider a secret in our common understanding. It is important to note that this is because these are not so much secrets of Fatima in reality, but really the visions of Fatima. The first secret or vision was of hell. Lucia wrote that the Blessed Virgin showed the children what hell was like, complete with the suffering experienced by the souls who were there. The visions lasted only a second, but the children say that it was almost unbearable. It led to a great trust in the promise of Mother Mary to lead her devotees to Christ, to save souls from this great eternal suffering. The second secret is more along the lines of what we think a secret involves. In this vision, the Blessed Mary shows the young children a vision in which they learn that World War I, which is going on during the time of the visions, will end. However, another world war will ensue under the papacy of Pope Pius XI, who reigned from 1922 until 1939, unless people stop offending God and Russia is converted. The Virgin asked that Russia be consecrated to her Immaculate Heart. The third secret, the one that was sealed in the envelope, is they finally came out and said what the secret was, but people were not believing what this third secret was. The secret ultimately is said to be sealed still in the envelope, hidden in the vaults of the Vatican, or the secret of the Vatican. And that leads us to the third secret, the one that gets all the attention. Before we get into what the vision was, or we need to remember that it was placed in an envelope and was not opened until 1960. Although the envelope was open in 1960, the secret was not made public until the year 2000,
40 years later,
when the Vatican released the text that Lucia had written. She wrote the third part of the secret revealed at the Cova da Aria Fatima on 13th of July, 1917. I write in obedience to you, my God, who command me to do so through his excellency, the Bishop of Lyra, and through your most holy mother and mine. After the 2 parts which I have already explained, at the left of our Lady and a little above, we saw an angel. And this is what the visions of these girls, this is what the church says was the third secret. We saw an angel with a flaming sword in his left hand. Flashing, it gave out flames that looked as though they would set the world on fire, but they died out in contact with the splendor that Our Lady radiated towards him from her right hand. Pointing to the earth with his right hand, the angel cried out in a loud voice, penance, penance, penance.
and we saw in an immense light that is God something similar to how people appear in a mirror when they pass in front of it. A bishop dressed in white. We had the impression that it was the Holy Father. Other bishops, priests, men, and women, religious, going up to a steep mountain at the top of which there was a big cross of rough-hewn trunks as of a cork tree with the bark. Before reaching there, the Holy Father passed through a big city, half in ruins and half trembling with halting step, afflicted with pain and sorrow. He prayed for the souls of the corpses he met on his way. Having reached the top of the mountain on his knees at the foot of the big cross, he was killed by a group of soldiers who fired bullets and arrows at him. And in the same way, there died one after another the other bishops, priests, men and women, religious, and various lay people of different ranks and positions. Beneath the two arms of the cross, there were two angels, each with a crystal aspersium. What the fuck is that? In his hand, in which they gathered up the blood of the martyrs, and with it sprinkled the souls that were making their way to God. The secret of a bishop in white that was presumed to be the Pope, who was killed by having bullets and arrows fired at him, was naturally assigned to the failed assassination attempt on the life of John Paul II. So there was a point in brief, I don't know what year it was, but there was an assassination attempt carried out on one of the popes, which they're saying is what the visions of these girls saw. And they were right about roughly the happenings of the Second World War. There's just not many that believe what is portrayed to us, the public, of this third secret is true from the Vatican, but the sealed envelope is still hidden below the depths of the Vatican. I think that ultimately what these girls were seeing were what some religious people would call the end times, which is completely fucking terrifying. I've read the New Testament of the Bible, and Revelations is completely fucking horrible. It's really scary. It's not bad. It's a good book to read as long as you don't read the King James version or whatever. That's really hard to understand for someone like me. But you know, the New Living Translation or the NIV version, to read Revelations is, it's really, it'll thump you, dude. It's if you buy into that, to think that if there are going to be end times, that's how it's going to be, is completely terrifying. That there's just going to be just like beasts and demons coming from the sky and people on fucking horses with swords, and
pretty fucking dope.
I know. I just want to sit back and eat my popcorn and watch it.
Die like a man.
Which leads me to my next part here. So you're not a religious guy at all.
No, not at all.
I've come to the understanding that you probably don't believe in God.
No.
I am on the fence, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I think there is more to life than what's in front of us. I think there's some kind of other side. But to say that... Cat's scratching on the door. She wants in.
I'll let her out. Keep talking.
She's trying to get out?
Yeah, she's trying to get out.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Well, fuck her. No, don't literally fuck her. She's fixed. But to say that these writings, and I was arguing about this week with someone at work, these writings that have been passed down for thousands of years, okay? This Bible, the word of God.
Okay.
That this thing has been passed down and has not lost its original form at all. And this is the creed we're supposed to live by, is the fucking Bible. I don't fucking buy that shit.
No, not at all.
People embellish stories, okay?
Oh, yeah.
There's no one alive right now that was there when Jesus was crucified at Calvary. There's no one alive. There's no one that can tell us for sure what happened that day. There might have been a guy named Jesus that was crucified.
Right.
That did happen to people back then.
Definitely.
But to say this motherfucker rose from the dead.
Yeah.
there's been grave robbers since the beginning of time.
Right.
This guy could have had a gold tooth they wanted that was worth a lot of money. They said, we're going in, we're going to get this guy. We're going to get that gold tooth. We're going to get motherfucking paid for it.
Right.
To think that something like that could have possibly, not a gold tooth because they didn't work on fucking teeth back then, but anything. They just wanted to, you know, for the people that gathered there for his crucifixion, that, you know, that said, oh, it's Jesus and they're killing him. There could have been people that said, this guy's a fucking...
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of missed years of Jesus' life.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big gap of his most vulnerable years. If someone profiled my late teens and my 20s, they'd be like, oh, Jesus, fuck this guy. He's not holy at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's missing from the stories of Jesus is there's a big gap there, okay?
Yeah. And it seems more likely that he was of radical ideology against the government during that time, as opposed to,
absolutely
what's really claimed.
And here's the crazy part. It could have just been a couple jokers like you and I, like, let's go move his fucking body.
Right.
I think dead bodies are fucking cool. So they go move his body.
His followers, because he had followers.
He did.
He had people that believed, that he was the son of God.
They move him to the woods. Then a couple people stumble in and see that he's gone, and it's, for thousands of years, this entire religion, this thing is based off a missing dead body.
Right.
And I'm not.
And he very well could have foreseen that what happened was going to happen and gave people instructions on what to do afterwards.
Yeah. And but then that means all of this, the Bible, the Holy Spirit, the fucking Trinity, the God knows everything. The Jesus Christ died for our fucking sins. The millions upon billions upon trillions of dollars that's put in the offering plate every decade is all been for naught. It's been for nothing. Because of, what if two jokers like you and I? Yeah. You're a fucking dead body before. That dude with the pretty hair died the other day. We tried on him. And it's sad that at the Vatican,
and that's what I was going to say. And speaking of all these hidden rooms in the Vatican, I'm a strong believer that somewhere down there they probably have proof that there is no such thing as religion, as like
Jesus.
As Jesus, yeah.
That's what I'm getting into next.
Or, religion is all kind of a scam. I mean, the same religion you can watch. There was a really old documentary called Zeitgeist that you could watch, and Christianity. Well, this is pretty much the modern form, but other forms of Christianity have existed for ever. Yeah, and it's all based off of the worship of the sun,
right?
And that's where the holy day comes from, Sunday, and it's really. Really cool thing, and it kind of just breaks everything down as to how it's
Sunday.
Yeah, and there's all the belief that the acacia bush, the burning of it is what actually caused the hallucinations of what became the stories. They were actually hallucinations, and they wrote down what they saw during the hallucinations, thinking that it was real occurrences. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff, but
I mean, like 3 bags of Cool Ranch Doritos.
They could have thought that they saw God, but really they were, just hired and shit, and not knowing it, and
higher than giraffe pussy.
Yeah, believe what you want to believe. Whatever makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, you go for it. And it doesn't affect me at all. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we don't fucking care what you believe.
Nah.
Just believe in us because we're good people.
Believe in the spaghetti monster. I don't give a fuck.
Believe that the bros of Ohio can do big things. That's what I want
Worship
you to
me.
And
I won't lead you astray.
My next portion here is it's said that perhaps the bloodline of Jesus is sealed below the Vatican vault.
Dan Brown.
Yes. Quite possibly one of the most bizarre but intriguing stories surrounding the bloodline of Christ is that of Berenger Sanier, a lowly and poverty-stricken village priest. Okay,
this is the story of the Da Vinci codes. That's what's pretty cool.
He's completely broken, completely poor, residing in southern France, who seemingly out of nowhere became rich overnight in the late 1890s. Some claims exist that Sanier had discovered proof that Jesus survived the crucifixion was married,
Yeah.
and fled to France.
I've heard this before.
Essentially, that the entire church was based on a monumental lie. Like I just said, there's no concrete evidence as to what he might have found, but the main suggestions are that he stumbled across the family tomb of Jesus, Mary, and their 2 children. It is claimed that Senior likely blackmailed the Vatican with the find and in return received, quote, investment for his lowly church, which did indeed undergo a huge makeover at the time. The church itself is the now infamous village of Rennes-le-Château, is visited by many treasure hunters as well as truth seekers looking for proof of their theories and claims, as do the surrounding areas. Coincidentally or not, Senior would meet a sudden death, one which itself is shrouded in mystery and secrecy. Make of that what you will. And if there is something out there that could discredit the life of Jesus Christ, oh man,
A bloodline?
you want to talk about social media that day.
Oh, yeah.
This fucking shit in Iran going on right now. I had to turn my fucking Facebook off because I'm so fucking sick of hearing what everybody thinks about Middle East relations. Keep getting the fucking oil and blow the motherfuckers up if they try and blow us up. Why are we over there fighting these guys? Why are we putting our nose in it?
We've been over there for so long.
They attacked our embassy. Why do we have a fucking embassy over there anyways? What business do we have? I don't fucking care. There's nothing there for us. We've got Alaska. Drill that motherfucker out. We've got all the oil we need. There's a conspiracy theory that a guy was killed back in the early 1900s that had the plans for a fucking water car, a car that would run off water. And Ford said, nah, baby, nah. And they killed the fucking dude, or somebody, some other car company, killed this guy because he had the plans to make a water-driven car. Maybe it was just a fucking boat. I don't know.
Not on our watch, motherfucker.
Yeah. So they killed him.
Yeah.
There's people out there that are going to do great things. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
If there's something out there that could discredit everything for all of time, it would be so much fun to watch the motherfucker burn.
Yeah.
And that takes us to our last thing here. The fucking chronovisor.
Chronovisor.
If there was a way to go back and see, if you had a pair of binoculars that you could put on your head, and when you put on these binoculars, it would be like watching a DVR. You could go back to any important event throughout history and see things exactly as they happened. You could sit on a hill and watch the Battle of Gettysburg. You could go to the banks in Hawaii and watch Pearl Harbor unfold right as it happened.
Go to the grassy knoll.
You could go to the grassy knoll. You could go to Calvary the day Jesus was crucified and follow him to the tomb where he was put to lay for dead for the rest of eternity, and sit there and watch and see what happened and see the 2 jokers, Nick and Rob, sneak up drunk off fucking wine. We just had 6 fish fillets,
Nicolas and Robert.
beer battered,
Yeah.
stinky nuts, laying down. We suck on each other's toes for a little bit. We get up, we steal the body of Jesus, we put it on a little fucking raft, and we knock our microphone 10 feet away from our face. If there was a device out there that you could do that and discredit everything that's ever been said about history or see things exactly how they happened.
Yeah.
It's called the chronovisor. And it's said that the Vatican has in their possession the only known chronovisor.
It's so fucking crazy.
Oh, God.
I would break into the Vatican just for that.
A chronovisor is a theoretical time viewer, initially of past events. Francois Brune claims that Pellegrino Ernetti was a developer of the chronovisor that enabled the viewing of the crucifixion of Jesus. Andrew Basaggio claims that DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, has vastly improved the chronovisor technology.
I know Andrew Bashago.
Oh, yeah, dude. Smoke pot with Andrew Basaggio.
And Johnny Hopkins.
Why is this device important to the Vatican? It is believed to be a crucial tool which has allowed the Vatican to preserve its influence and power through all of these years. The alleged device, which according to many is nothing more than a science fiction, was built in the 1950s by a team of scientists led by Father Pellegrino, isn't that a really good fucking green water? Isn't that something?
Something like that.
Maria Ernetti, an Italian physicist who eventually became a priest.
Okay.
It is believed that the team received important help from Nobel laureate Enrico Fermi and famous rocket scientist Werner von Braun.
Oh, okay.
The chronovisor is a relatively small object that is equipped with a number of antennas and is composed entirely of precious alloys, cathode tubes, some dials, and levers. Reports by Father Arnetti suggest that whoever uses the device is able to capture and record specific locations, important events, and follow in history noteworthy individuals. Just think about this, Rob. Man, George Washington, follow him around. Just pop up and be like, get wooden fucking teeth, dickhead. And just hop back and put your head back down. He keeps walking. You pop up. You want some ice cream for them wooden fucking teeth, dickhead? I just think it's awesome that our president had wooden teeth.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And powdered wigs. Those things are pretty sweet too.
Yeah.
We need to bring back powdered wigs.
We're trendsetters. Let's do it.
Yeah. Powdered wig's better than what fucking Donald Trump has on his head right now.
What that thing is. Yeah, I killed one of those with a
Poor
shovel
thing.
back in 2004.
Man, powdered
okay.
wigs. We need to make those popular again.
Yeah, we can if you want.
Yeah,
We
I'm
can try
totally
it.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you find a powdered wig?
I got a lot of confectionery sugar
Oh,
upstairs.
yeah, okay, cool.
That'd be good.
Just got to get some hair rollers and
Yeah.
we'll be set.
It is even said that under the perfect conditions, the device offers its user the ability to foresee what was going to happen in the near future.
Nice.
However, Father Ernetti remained secretive and stated that he was not at liberty to reveal further details about the chronovisor. Father Ernetti did, however, reveal that the chronovisor worked by, quote, processing residual electromagnetic radiation left over by numerous processes. According to numerous reports, Father Ernetti used the chronovisor to witness important historical events, with the most notable being the crucifixion of Christ. However, Father Ernetti revealed that thanks to this invention, had managed to witness the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, a town that was blown up by God because they were all fucking each other in the butt, and other major historical events such as the founding of Rome in 753 BC. Also, thanks to the chronovisor, Father Ernetti was able to recompose the missing work, Theistis, written by Ennio Quinto. I am so culturally fucking deaf and retarded.
Theistis?
Represented in Rome in 169 AC in its original version, and the original text of the 2 stone tablets written by God, Exodus 24:12, which were given to Moses on Mount Sinai. Cyanide.
Cyanide.
Apart from witnessing the likes of Napoleon, Roman philosopher Cicero, and other great and momentous historical and biblical episodes. French priest Francois Charles Antoine Brun was one of the first to hear about the chronovisor. According to Father Francois, he met Father Arnetti in the 1960s when the two were traveling across the Grand Canal of Venice. As the two were experts in ancient languages, they began to talk about the Bible and interpretation through the years. Father Brun that was very intrigued when the Father Ernetti revealed that there was a machine that could answer all the questions related to the Bible.
Right.
When Father Francois asked about the machine, Father Ernetti described the chronovisor, saying that it was a device that functioned just like a TV, but instead of receiving transmissions from local stations, the chronovisor was able to tune into the past and allow a viewer to see and hear the events that had occurred centuries before. Ernetti told Brun that the machine worked by detecting images and sounds that humanity had created, which were floating in space. Holy fucking shit.
Fuck?
It is said that this intriguing device and the project behind it were canceled by the Vatican, but not destroyed. Some believe the chronovisor is located somewhere in the Vatican, hidden in one of the many chambers hidden away from society. However, there are versions that suggest that Father Ernetti and his team decided to voluntarily dismantle the device because since it could tune anywhere and any time in the past, if it were to fall in the wrong hands, it would create, quote, the scariest dictatorship the world has ever seen. Interestingly, before Father Arnetti died in April of 1984, he wrote a letter in which he insisted that the device was real and was not a hoax as many believe. Father Ernetti claimed that he alleged photographed the chronovisor had captured of Jesus Christ on the cross, so you could take fucking pictures with this thing.
Just take a selfie with him up there.
Here I am up on Calvary.
This is my man Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus Christ is my nigga. Are we allowed to say that?
No, you can't say that.
Okay, but it's the video with the white people.
I
right?
know.
Okay. Jesus Christ is my nigga. However, after bearded man gazing towards the heavens was real, even though you've seen it, right?
Yeah, of course I've seen it.
Go on YouTube and look up Jesus Christ is my nigga. It's not. It is what it is. It's not racist. I promise.
He's quoting the video. He's not saying that himself.
Right. Father Ernetti claimed that the alleged photograph the chronovisor had captured of Jesus Christ on the cross, showing the sorrowful face of a bearded man gazing towards the heavens, was real, even though some critics argue that the image was a reproduction of a statue of Jesus located in the church in Perugia. Critics also claim that the alleged text the device managed to observe from the one thing we couldn't pronounce, the Theistus, included Latin words that did not exist at the time it was made. In 1994, Father Ernetti also said that Pope Pius XI forbade us to disclose any details about this device because the machine was very dangerous. It can restrain the freedom of man. Holy God.
Yeah, makes sense.
However, in 1988, the Vatican issued a decree in which it warned that, quote, anyone using an instrument of such characteristics would be excommunicated.
Okay, then why the fuck would you have it then?
If there's no such thing as
Right.
a chronovisor,
Why make it a fucking rule then?
why would the Vatican have to put out a decree that says if you're caught using a chronovisor, you will be excommunicated?
In case anyone was to create something where you could go back and see events from the past,
We'll fucking kill you.
we're gonna kick you out of the church.
According to many, this was an unnecessary warning since, according to them, the chronovisor never existed. So why issue a warning if it was just another hoax? If they could go back, Dayton, Ohio, 1996, first time I ejaculated. See how fucking much joy was in that little boy's heart. To know that if he humped the mattress long enough,
Man, I was terrified.
that he would get a warm, tingly feeling over his body so intense
Yeah.
that it would make his knees knock, make his hairy toe knuckles curl. Yeah,
I was scared shitless the first time I did it.
yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. And then when it did, I was like, oh my God.
Uh,
And I was terrified and didn't jerk off again for another month. And then I did it like 6 times every day until I was able to get laid.
but for real, I did it. My first time was on the toilet, just like
Mine was do a Britney Spears poster.
cum, shitted, and farted all at the same time.
That's like the human equivalent of a cheat code. You went Super Saiyan.
My mom had to come in there and hit the reset button on me.
Jizz everywhere. You just exploded in a big pile of jizz.
Oh, so in the breath of the chronovisor,
Uh-huh.
there's just so many weird things about this that scream, what if it is fucking real, you know?
What would you go back to
Oh, if
right
I
off the
could-
bat? Anywhere and any time in history.
So here's the scary part.
Okay.
For instance, if you do go back to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ
Right.
and you see the way things really happened,
Mm-hmm.
and then you come back and they do happen exactly as the Bible said they did,
Right.
and he is who he says he is,
Uh-huh.
you immediately have to change everything about your life.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Everything has to change, man.
Right.
We can't do this anymore. We can't. Getting some weird fucking noises there.
That's all right.
There's just so much that would change.
Uh-huh.
The world would change.
I agree. Yeah. If there was undeniable proof, yeah,
I don't know. It's scary, dude.
it is.
And if you came back to tell the world that it didn't happen like they said it happened,
uh-huh.
you would be
they would try and remove you from society if you had the concrete evidence to prove that Jesus was never real.
Yeah.
I think that you would be. I
Oh,
think you would
yeah.
be killed.
Yeah, churches, yeah, you'd be done for.
Not even the church. I mean, just
Well, I mean, the churches for sure.
the world, man.
Because there ain't going to be bankrolling anymore.
No, but yeah, there would be people coming to get you. for
Yeah,
sure.
no doubt.
What a deep dive this one was.
Oof.
I fucking hate the Vatican.
Yeah.
I hate the Pope. Whatever. All right. Well, tell us what you guys think. We'd love to hear what the.
What would you go back if you had the chronovisor? What would you go back to see?
Yeah. What would you go back and see?
If I could have fucked Susie in the 7th grade. I don't even know Susie. I don't know. Honestly, I think I would go back right off. Shit. I'd go really far back, and I want to see exactly how the dinosaurs died first off.
Well, there was different generations of dinosaurs as well. There was like,
Well, I'm talking the glory days.
okay,
Jurassic Park era.
yeah, it was a fucking asteroid, dude. Or what?
I want to see for sure.
Yeah.
Could have been.
I
think that'd be fun.
Science proves it pretty well.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. And then I would like to see I think I'd like to go back and oh man, the JFK thing would be definitely on the
Absolutely.
list.
Yeah. There's just so many crazy things throughout history that you could go back and I'm fascinated by the assassination of Abraham Lincoln.
That too, yeah.
There's nothing, I don't think.
The moon landing would be pretty cool just actually.
Yeah. I don't think they're lying about anything with Abraham, but I'd like to be in the theater and watch it happen just because I'm weird,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
But a lot of different cool stuff I'd like to check out.
Man, there'd be so many cool things.
Abraham Lincoln was a vampire hunter. Do you know that?
Man, I did. I wouldn't trust anybody else to hunt vampires.
Yeah. So let us know what you think.
Yeah. Let us know what you think.
Love to hear it.
Yeah, the chronovisor is a fucking awesome idea. Yeah. We got to ask James Long if there's such thing.
Yeah. Old Bishop Long Dong.
Old Bishop Long.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. I love you.